Yeah, pretty much. Hey, it's Jave and Allison and the professor. This is Pablo. It's the Crowns of Spain tour with Gate 1 Travel, more of the world for less, and you're watching Two Dudes Reviews. Well, the 11-day Crowns of Spain tour. Gotta say, it was a blast. Of course, you start with a very, very, very long flight. This is the welcome dinner. Everybody joins in the very first night of the tour. And you kind of introduce yourselves. Your tour guide will kind of explain what the trip is all about and how it's very important to be on time with the bus calls and when it comes to, having your luggage ready. We started at a place called the Escape Lounge in Reno, Nevada. If you have an escape lounge in your airport, it's a nice way to start the adventure. And remember, not a lot of leg room on the 9-hour flight from the West Coast to get out to Spain. This again is from the welcoming dinner. There's wine at all the dinners that Gate 1 provides. Sometimes the wine is fairly unlimited. Other times you're limited to just 2 glasses. And tapas. Tapas is not necessarily a type of food. It's just kind of a style of eating where you order a drink and then they give you some free food on the side, or you can just actually order small plates. Tapas. The drink that you just saw was vermouth, not to be confused with vermouth. Similar, but not exactly the same. Vermouth is a bit on the sweeter side, not quite as bitter as vermouth that you might use to make in a Manhattan. Look at this beautiful fountain. This was in Madrid right here. We started, of course, in Madrid to take the tour, and the first morning, I took a bus ride around town and got to see some of the cool stuff, including one of the most legendary museums on the face of the planet. Of course, if you're a fan of Goya, here's your opportunity in Madrid to check out his works. Now, I didn't know it, but going into the Museo del Prado, not a good idea to take pictures inside. I got this just coming off of the elevator and then got the stink eye. So a couple of pictures here. I hope they don't mind that I posted this up here. Probably one of the more photographed areas, and kind of zooming in on some of the characters here and the beheading. Of course, Spain known for being rich in history and a lot of Roman stuff. This restaurant, the oldest restaurant in the world, called El Botín, and gotta say, bit of a tourist trap. Really cool place. If you go there, ask to sit in the dungeon. I know it sounds weird, but the basement dungeon area has a completely different vibe and feel than the rest of the restaurant. They're known for their suckling pig that they cook up. And the pig looks good, but for whatever reason, in Spain, they don't like to use a lot of salt. Us here in America, we love our salt. Mercado de San Miguel, of course, Plaza Mayor. There's every type of small tapas food available. Just be careful. There are people that will hand out flowers and then stand around and insist that you tip them handsomely for the flowers that you might find. How about this breakfast? Now, this is a typical breakfast buffet at the hotels that we stayed at on the Gate 1 Travel 11-day Crown of Spain tour. I mean, just about everything possibly imaginable, from the Iberico ham. There you have some churros with the chocolate. Every pastry known to man right there. Eggs, if you want them over easy, that's fine. You can also order up an omelet with whatever types of veggies or bacon or anything else included inside. But I mean, these breakfast buffets are just massive. It was almost overwhelming to try and decide exactly what the heck we were going to eat every single morning because there was just so much of it. Fresh fruit, fresh squeezed orange juice every single morning. Yep, that's the ritual.
Andalusia, the southern part of Spain. And capital of that?
That's our tour guide, Pablo.
Spanish,
the buses were very, very comfortable.
In English. Cordoba is a smaller town, in a way, amazing, beautiful, but it's not the capital. It's only 300,000 inhabitants, and instead Seville above a million. So you can tell it's a big city, Seville, with an airport, international connections, and so on. So in this tour,
now, I'm not going to play a whole heck of a lot of Madrid, riding around in the bus because that would just be boring.
Andalusia, Valencia, and Catalonia, capital Barcelona, the 5 most important regions of the country. Don't worry, because in these days we're having like lectures. So I'm gonna give you maps, you're gonna see our itinerary, we're gonna see the regions. and you can see exactly what is our tour. Look so far to your right hand side, the beautiful square of Columbus. Christopher Columbus Square.
In Spain, they have a severe love for Columbus. In fact, there's a whole tomb dedicated to Columbus. It's unfortunate to see this grandiose tomb and find out there was nothing but a finger in there. And no, I'm not kidding. And throughout the entire country, you'll see these bulls. The bulls do not signify a region. There's the bull. It's basically an advertising ploy for, I don't know, I believe some type of whiskey. Now, we were going to just take the speed train to go from Madrid to Cordoba, but I was advised by our tour guide not to do that because we would have missed out on Toledo. Toledo, an incredibly impressive city. You basically pull off the highway, come around the back of a mountain, and boom, there it is. This place was magnificent and a really impressive way to start day number 3 of our tour. I guess technically day number 4. It was Thursday. Started the tour. We arrived on a Tuesday, so this is Thursday in Toledo en route toward Cordoba. Now, if you walk too fast, you might miss this. It kind of looks like a dried up pond, but actually it's made out of nothing but brass and fills up with water and then drains from water to mimic the tides every single day. And look at some of this artwork. That's the artist who painted the picture, pretty much asking for the approval of the picture from the audience looking at the picture. And then finally, when we leave, we go across one of the old gates. Most of the cities in Spain were surrounded by giant walls for protection back when they were first conquered. Those are some beautiful sights. And of course, this, one of the most magnificent places that we saw, Mosque-Cathedral de Cordoba, one of the largest mosques in the world. This place was mind-numbing. And the Royal Alcazar of Seville tour. And those were just a couple of spooky, like, mask-looking things there. Seville. Birthplace of flamenco, I guess, arguably. We saw 2 different types of flamenco shows. This is one of them in the theater. The dance is beautiful. And it was a pretty big production. Now, we did see a different kind of flamenco dance, which you'll see later on in the video, in the cave area of Granada and hanging out with the gypsies there. Christopher Columbus, again, they, for whatever reason, really were in love with Christopher Columbus. Everywhere you went, there was some type of a monument to Christopher Columbus. This is the top of the watchtower. You can walk all the way to the top of it. There are no stairs. It's all ramps. And yes, that was a trivia question that was asked in the tour going over there. But these are some of the views from the top of the bell tower. And the crazy lion. Now, on our drive, working our way to Valencia and Granada, beautiful view from the top of the hill right there. And that, I believe, said, "Only God is victorious," and was written over 1 million times in this particular place. And this is in Granada, Alhambra. And the Alhambra gardens were absolutely gorgeous. Here's proof of that. Look at some of these flowers, just everywhere you turned. Absolute beauty. In the 13th century Alhambra, one of the most celebrated monuments overlooking the entire city. And here's the other place I was telling you about, where we saw the flamenco in a cave. finally the Alhambra at night. That's right after we walked out of that flamenco show, and right across the street was that view. How impressive is that place at night? The next day, our guide Pablo took us on a special little off-path. Was not on the tour itinerary, and the place was Pensacola. Now, this is a spot, although the beaches were awfully packed looking, a spot that is really a destination for locals in the country of Spain to go on vacation, not for a lot of tourists outside. The aquarium in España.
Yes.
Looks like a whale coming up, facing towards the sky. Here we are in Valencia. This is our tour guide, Pablo.
Hello. ¿Qué tal?
And Valencia was beautiful. However, we did not have enough time to explore the city. If there's one place in Spain with our travel that we would go back and spend at least a couple of days at, it would be Valencia. And finally, we get to Madrid. Now, this is kind of an up-close look at what we saw across from our hotel. Our hotel is back and to the left. From the hotel, you can see that amazing church that they've been just working on forever. Sagrada Familia. And there'll be some more close-ups as the video continues. Now, I cannot recommend this enough. When you're in Barcelona, make sure to jump on Viator and get aboard one of these sailing outages. 2-hour sunset cruise ran you about $50 a person. And that came with tapas and cava. And the nighttime view from the rooftop of our hotel. Beautiful pool area. And did I mention the food? Yeah, while Gate 1 does offer meals, some dinners, I highly recommend you going off the beaten path and going to visit some of the local restaurants in whatever city you're visiting there in Spain. Again, here's the Sagrada Familia, colossal church. Still unfinished. And more look at my food pictures. So here we are at the end, the farewell dinner. Pablo, you've been an amazing instructor and professor and host, and really appreciate that. I'm curious, with all of your knowledge, you have a background in anthropology, yeah?
Contemporary arts.
Contemporary art, okay. You've got a great communication skill. If you were to give advice for somebody as far as communication is concerned, what's the one key for you to be a great communicator, would you say?
First of all, listen.
Listen, okay.
More than say anything,
yeah.
Listen to what the people in front of you is interested and engaged with.
Yeah, okay. And out of all the cities in España, and you've been to other regions around the world, and this might be like asking a chef what his favorite food is. What's your favorite city? If you were going to you had to spend the rest of your life in one city in Spain, what would that be?
I was going to ask the same question to you, but now that you mentioned to me, from my Spanish background, I would say Valencia, which is a very right size, not too big, metropolis, not a village, not too small, has a nice population, modern and tradition, by the sea, close to the mountains, in between Madrid and Barcelona. Yeah. So perfect balance.
Okay, I like that.
That's the one place we want to go back.
The one place we would love to go back, it was Valencia. That was kind of the crown of all of our travels. Love Barcelona, but it's very, very large.
And touristic.
And touristic. I would think that I could live here for a month and explore a lot, and then after a month, I would get tired of, oh my God, it's going to take an hour just to get to my friend's house. Or, if you're going out to dinner, you better plan an hour ahead because you need to navigate for traffic and this, that, and the other. Allison, you had a question.
I did. Okay, so you're an amazing teacher. And
Thank you.
You are. So what is the next thing that you want to master and learn?
Probably put it in practice more than explain it and trying to share thoughts.
Okay.
Forget about the words and transform them into material, visual, plastic projects. Painting, sculpturing, installation, performing, who knows, but comes from the theory into practice. So I gotta stop the blah blah blah, as our friends say, and put it into real
Into
colors.
practice.
Exactly.
No, that's cool. Okay. And one place outside of Europe that you would like to visit but haven't been there yet, what's next on your list, or what would be top of your list right now?
I think it's gonna be Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Indonesia, Bali, because apparently from what I heard, it's a good mix in between Asian culture and values with influence from the Western world too.
Okay.
So they live in a very peaceful way, with a really healthy diet, healthy way of life, relax, not stress. I'm looking for that.
Yeah, and by the way, if you come to España here and you want something bubbly, we've been drinking quite a bit of this here. It's like champagne. They can't call it champagne because it's not from Champagne. In California, we would just call it sparkling wine, but this is what you have to go for. It's cava, and we're having some cava for the final evening this evening. It's very, very delicious. Our tour has been consumed with cava. Now I don't know where the heck to get it back in the States, right? At least the good cava. The cava we've had in the States.
We'll find it. We'll find it.
We'll find it.
Imported from here, you know. So you
Yeah,
should
well,
try to-
I should try and bring
Can
a
we
case
take it in
back
our
with
luggage?
me. Yeah, no
at least
doubt.
3 boxes, more or less.
Yeah. Pablo, thank you very, very
Thanks to
much.
you
You've been
guys.
a heck of a host.
Yes,
We
it's
appreciate
incredible.
it. If you want to go check out Spain and you want to do it at a very rapid pace so that you can find out the most important cities in the country and then come back again to spend some quality time there, check out Gate 1 Travel and their Crowns of Spain. It's an amazing tour. And Jave, Allison, Pablo, it's Two Dudes Reviews. See you next time.
Thank you very much, James. Really. Hasta la próxima.
And of course, hang tight. We do have funny outtakes at the end of the video here. Pablo only does this tour once a year. I guess we got lucky. And at the very end of the video here, well, there's one guy, you put a euro in his can and he switches position, but he was pretty crazy. And then this is a Snapchat filter. That's all laughing. And my wife almost peeing her pants on the bus.
Look, it's pretty well preserved. It started in 1483. Flamboyant Gothic. Look at the gargoyles. 28 gargoyles. They're all different. Really, it's an example of the power and wealth of the city in the 15th